Carolyn, good morning.
Morning.
So we got a small group this morning, but that's lovely. It's lovely to practice with you. And I would like to begin with some pranayama, breathing practice. Breathing is such an essential part of our practice. And for many people, that's what their yoga is. Some people traditionally, now maybe they'll do a few stretches here or there, but they don't focus as much on the postures as they do on the breathing practices. And there are many different kinds of pranayama, breath control practices that shift our consciousness, balance our energy, just calm and balance the nervous system. And that is yoga. So yoga doesn't, if you have any physical issues going on in your body, it doesn't mean you can't practice yoga, because the breathing is such an essential and powerful practice in and of itself. It is one of the 8 limbs of classical yoga. Asana is one of the other limbs. So you practice asana, but you also can practice breathing as just one of the kinds of yoga, one of the aspects of yoga. So I'm going to begin with a couple of little reflections on the power of the breath. This is something that was written by a 13th century Christian monk called Nicephorus the Solitary. I don't know if I pronounced his name right, but he was a Christian monk. And he said, "You know that our breathing is the inhaling and exhaling of air. The organ that serves for this is the lungs that lie around the heart, so that the air passing through them therefore envelops the heart. Thus, breathing is a natural way to the heart. And so, having collected your mind within you, lead it into the channel of breathing through which air reaches the heart. And together with this inhaled air, invite your mind to descend into the heart and remain there." So using the power of the lungs and the breath, we direct the mind right into the spaciousness of the heart. That in itself is a lovely way to settle the mind, all of the movement of the mind, all of the turbulence in the mind, and help us drop into the spaciousness and the peace of the heart by using that imagery of the breath, the lungs enveloping the heart. So in this way, breath is a form of prayer. So I'd like us to begin with just a few long, slow, deep breaths in and out. And see if you can invite that quality of surrounding the heart with breath and allowing the mind to drop into the heart with every inhale. And every exhale, allowing that exhale to empty the mind out of what doesn't serve us, what no longer, the chatter and the distraction, whatever doesn't need to be here. Inhale. You know how to take a deep yogic breath, beginning with the belly and expanding into the ribs, lifting into the chest, and exhaling. You can take these first few breaths exhaling through the mouth, just as that sense of letting go and cleansing. So just check in for yourself what needs to be released, what needs to be offered out. Let these first few sighing exhales be a way to land here in your own place of sanctuary here on your mat. The great yoga master Krishnamacharya said, "Inhale and God approaches you. Hold the inhalation and God remains with you. Exhale and you approach God. Hold the exhalation and surrender to God. I'm going to say that again. He said, as you inhale, God approaches you. Hold the inhalation and God remains with you. Exhale and you approach God. Hold the exhalation and surrender to God. Now you can, if you're not comfortable with the word God, you can use whatever word works for you. Divine energy, prana, essential life force, essence, being. Whatever word helps you remember that there is something beyond this egoic mind that's bigger than us, that includes everything, that is essentially peace at its core, that is all-inclusive and all-encompassing. Whatever name you give that, use the breath as a way to access that. That is yoga. I'm going to put on a rhythm that we can use as a practice to measure the breath. And I'd like to begin with inviting 4 counts of inhale through the nose and 4 counts of exhale through the nose. Just as a practice of inviting that being, that essence, that energy in, allowing the mind to descend into the heart, exhaling even further, that sense of descending into the heart for 4 counts. So as I put on this rhythm, see if you can align your breath with your rhythm. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. See if you can measure your breath so that the top of the inhale is the end of the 4 counts. Exhale. Inhale into fullness. Exhale, emptying chest, ribs, and belly. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, draw the navel in toward the spine at the end of your exhale. Every inhale, seeing yourself as an empty vessel, filling up with that life force. Exhale, we pour it back out again as an offering. In and out through the nose, layer on Ujjayi. Let that airway be slightly contracted so you feel and hear the sound of the breath. Now we'll add the holding of the inhalation. So inhale and hold. Exhale and hold the exhale. Inhale. Savor it and hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Ujjayi breath. Hold empty. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. Inhale. and hold. Exhale and hold. Inhale, and God approaches you. Hold the inhalation, God remains with you. Exhale, you approach God. Hold the exhalation and surrender to God. Inhale, approaching. Hold, remaining. Exhale, approaching God. Hold, surrender. On your own, inhale. Hold. See if you can draw the pelvic floor up. The Mula Bandha. Exhale. And hold. So on those holds, see if you can engage Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor lift, to seal the energy at the base of the spine. Holding. Exhale. And hold. Pelvic floor lift. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. And hold. Inhale on your own. And releasing this practice. Just take a deep breath in and let it go. Just take a moment in stillness with the eyes closed to notice what's alive in you as a result of the practice of square breathing. And inviting your breath to be a form of prayer. And lengthening up through the spine. Crown of the head reaches skyward. Let your eyes open with a soft gaze. And invite in the simple gesture, simple mudra of the arms lifting with the next breath. At shoulder height, turn the palms up, spiral the arms open. At the top of the breath, let the palms meet. Exhale, brush the third eye and the heart as you come down the center line of the body. Just this gesture of opening up. Feel the spreading and the widening of your heart as the arms open wide and then lift to touch at the top. Exhale, a gesture of gathering in, creating focus. So with the arms lifting, rising, spiraling open, palms meeting at the top, we're opening up and gathering in on the exhale, our energy. So there's a quality of expanding and exhale, aligning head and heart. And again, keep the breath big and deep, opening to receive the gift that our yoga practice has to offer us. Exhaling, taking it into your heart as a blessing. Inhaling, opening up to the possibility all this day has to offer. Exhaling, offering to show up fully alive and fully present. Inhaling, opening up to all the beauty, the sun, the sky, nature. Exhale, vowing to be present to it. Inhale, opening up to the grace of aliveness. Exhaling, committing to one pointed focus and attention. And again, opening up to prana, life force, energy. Exhale, channeling it in a positive direction. And one more, opening up, whatever it is you want to place in that space of opening. Exhaling, whatever it is you're committing to. Let the hands rest at the heart. And if you have an intention, a prayer, or a dedication that you'd like to make for today's practice, bring it into your mind and heart now. And with the sound of Om, we'll charge that intention and send it out in all directions, sealing it, offering it out. Deep breath in, exhale to Om. Bow the chin to the chest, honoring your intention, honoring yourself for showing up for your practice today. And as you're ready, come onto your mat into child's pose. I think it's so lovely to begin our practice with lots of deep, delicious breathing and breath as prayer. So stay connected with the power of the breath as we move through the asanas today. And as you come into child's pose here, let the forehead touch the earth, let the sitting bones sink back to the heels, fingers walk forward, and find any movements side to side, or any movements to spread through between the shoulder blades and open up there, perhaps drawing your upper arms down toward the mat. Any wiggles and waggles and movements that help you open up any tight places that you can notice as you come into your child's pose. Maybe coming up onto fingertips, lifting palms and wrists. Entire arms lift off and invite the space between the shoulder blades to sink down to the mat. And then palms come flat. On the next inhale, rise up into table pose and take some cat-cow spinal waves. Letting the breath move the body. Syncing up attention, movement, and breath. We'll begin opening up the body with the 6 sacred movements of the spine, starting with flexion and extension here. Opening up through the front body. Exhale, expanding through the back body. Also activate the core by drawing the navel in. One more round. Neutral spine here, walk the hands forward just a few inches, find some circles of the hips. Let the circles get wider. And circle in the other direction. And as you come back to center, draw the heart forward into your seal pose. Big toes touch, heels come slowly close to the buttocks, come onto the thighs, drop the shoulders down, get a little softness in the elbows, take a beautiful, elegant arch of the spine, look up. Big inhale to expand through the front body. Exhale, press away into your cat and back to your child. Two more rounds of that on your own. So inhaling up through table into your seal. Exhaling, pressing back through cat into child. And again, your own pace. And feel free to take a moment just to hang out and savor it for another breath or two if it feels really good to come into that seal or to come into that cat. And next time you land in your child, just see if your child's pose feels a little different than when you first came into it. Rising back up into table pose, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Slide the right leg back and press out through the heel, down and forward into the hands to stretch the calf muscle. That feels really good for me. I woke up this morning with one of those horrible leg cramps. You know, you move your foot and all of a sudden the calf muscle seizes up. Ooh, it's painful and I just need to breathe into it. And so sometimes my calves remain a little bit tight during the day after that happens. So stretch the bottom of the foot, press back through the heel, let the back of the knee lift to the sky. And then coming back with your arm bones stacked, we're going to pivot on the kneeling knee. So on your left knee, pivot. We're going to open up into a half circle. You'll see me from the back here. Come up onto your left fingertips. So you get a little bit more lift. Press the hips forward. Outer edge of the right foot presses into the mat, parallel to the short end of your mat. Grow long and take 3 big sweeping circles, so that your heart and your head and your hips all turn toward the sky. On that deep breath in. Grab the golden cord hanging down, let it draw you up, feel the core activate, pivot, externally rotate that extended leg, that right leg, and left arm rises to come into your gate pose, open your gate. Keep pressing the hip pointers forward so the body remains in one plane. Exhale back into your half circle here. Grow long, this time tippy toes to fingertips. See if you can grow at least an inch longer. And then exhale, coming back into your table pose with one leg extended. We're going to come right into table balance. So as you reach back with those right toes, left fingers reach forward. Abdominal muscles activate here to stabilize the spine, level the hips, grow long through the back of the neck. Big breath in, exhale, forearm to thigh, cat-cow, movements of the spine. Well, it's really more of just a lengthening on the inhale. And then the cat stretch on the exhale is really what we're doing here. So just cat. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, contract. One more time, lengthen, contract, lengthen and hold, power up the belly. And you can either take your bow kick here, opposite hand to toe, or both hands down, just press up with the toes. Lift that knee high, whether you're holding your foot or not. And release, placing that right foot down, back behind you. Again, you're in a table pose with one leg stretched behind you. We're going to take it into a twist. Press right hand down, left hand rises skyward. So you're going to stack your left shoulder on top of your right. Grow long and wide. Exhale, thread it through. Just let that left shoulder hover over the mat, underneath the right. Reach to the right. Inhale, open up to the left. twisting one way. Exhale, spinal rotation the other way. Tuck that shoulder under and reach. Inhale, opening up to the left. Exhale, tuck it under, reach to the right. Hover. This time we're going to open back up to a twist toward your left. And if you want to take it into a bind, back of the hand, left hand to right hip, roll the shoulder open, maybe sliding fingertips toward the navel. Look up at the sky. You can drop your right hip a little bit more. Feel that twist move down the spine. Big breath, and exhale, release. Come into your child one more time. And any wiggles and waggles that feel good here. Rising back up into table pose, slide the left foot back. Press out through the heel. Left knee crease lifts. Toes are curled under. Just another breath to press into that. And then the shoulders come over the wrist. We're going to pivot and come into your half circle. Come up on your lower hand so your right fingertips or fist presses into the mat. Turn your left toes so they point in the same direction that your hips are going. Your left hip stacked over right, long half circle. Inviting length and space through the whole left side of the body. 3 big circles as you pivot, rotating the torso to the sky. Hips, heart, and head open to the sky. And the hand, too. All those H words. Sweeping with breath. Golden cord is hanging down. Grab onto it. Let it draw you up to prepare for your gate pose. Externally rotate your left thigh. Reach up through the right hand. I'm not mirroring you here because of the way we started. But take your gate pose. Open your gate. Press your hips forward. And of course, gate pose, you can either rest on your shin or back of the hand to the calf. Reach long. Try not to bend your upper elbow. Try to keep that straight. So you have one long line of energy. And exhale back into your half circle one more time. This time, tippy toes to fingertips. And find that length. Grow longer. And pivot to come back into a 3-legged table. And we'll take it into table balance. One long horizontal line through the back body from left tippy toes to right fingertips. Grow long, inhale. Exhale into that cat stretch as you bring forearm to thigh. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, contract. Lengthen out and contract. So you're also going to be bringing your chin to tuck into your chest. Your navel pulls in here. Next time you lengthen, we'll hold here for another breath to grow long across that diagonal line from tiptoes to fingertips. Hip pointers level. And then coming into that opposite hand to foot bow kick. Drop the belly, lift the toes, or just place both hands down and kick up. You'll feel your glutes activate here. Float the back foot down, the lifted foot, which is your left foot down, curl the toes under. We're going to take it into that twist sequence now. Press down into the left palm, inhale. Lift the right hand to the sky. The right shoulder stacks over the left. Exhale, thread it through and hover, tucking right shoulder under. Inhale, open, twisting right. Exhale, hover, tuck it under, twisting left. And again, another round. Remember to keep the back leg activated, pressing out through that heel. This time we're going to hold the twist toward the right. Heart turns toward the right. And you've got a vertical line going from your lower hand to your upper hand. You've got a diagonal line going from your back heel to your crown of your head. Take it into a bind if you like. Rolling the upper shoulder open, maybe fingertips reach toward the navel. Look up at the sky, drop your left hip a little more while keeping that back leg active. Look up at the sky and release. Okay, one more time, back to child's pose. Let it all go. Take a deep breath in and make any sound of letting go that wants to come out. I know I sound like a horse there. And rising up into your table pose. And reset with a couple more rounds of cat-cow. We've just done all of the essential movements of the spine. We did opened up through the side body. We did flexion and extension. We did some twists. Now let's press back to downward facing dog. And take some time to pedal it out. Walk it out slowly. Savoring the length, the lengthening of the back of each leg as you send the heel down into the earth. At the same time, on that same side leg, lift the hip. So you're increasing the space from your sitting bone to your heel. Let the other leg bend to get access to that stretch if you need to. Keep active, pressing down through fingers and thumbs. Heart reaches to the space between the feet. And the alignment of the head should be such that your ears line up with your upper arms. So don't let the head flop down so the top of the head is reaching the mat. Just keep that long diagonal from your hips all the way down through the back body, through the back of the torso, through the shoulders, upper arms, fingers reaching into the earth. Navel lifts in and up. Inhale, come into your plank pose. High plank, if you need knee down plank, you can take that. Firm core, firm legs. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, cobra. Start with a low cobra so you can get as much lift as you can without actually pressing into the hands. You do want to press into the feet. Reach back, find your snake pose as you clasp your hands. Heart forward, shoulder blades want to kiss one another. Toes reaching back behind you and anchoring down into the mat. Hands release. Press up through your table. Take it into a cat stretch. And cow tilt and back to down dog. Spread your sit bones. This time as you come into down dog, just use the visualization. This is a fun one. Imagine that you are a peacock spreading his feathers, spreading his tail feathers. So you get that widening through the pelvis. And then inhale, coming into your high plank, top of a push-up. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. 8 points to the earth. Ashtanga Namaskara. Inhale, baby cobra again. Lift, reach back, take it into snake pose. We'll take that right into locust. So power up the legs, peel them off. And lift the thighs. Hearts drawing forward, toes drawing back. Lift and lengthen. Ujjayi breath here. And release. Let the forehead come down to the mat. And then press up. Take a cat stretch. Squeeze out the breath. Inhale, cow tilt. Exhale, down dog. On your own, one more time through your vinyasa, connecting sequence. If you feel ready for chaturanga, to upward facing dog, and you want to take that, you can do that. Once you've landed in your downward facing dog, once again, Peacock spreads his tail feathers. Navel lifts in and up. Heart sinks low. From here, right leg lifts back behind you. Three-legged dog lifted high. Diagonal line, fingertips to toes. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Soften the shoulders, lengthen through the spine, inner thighs toward the center, sweep forward and up. Kneeling warrior. Let's take that gesture that we opened our practice with opening up as you're in your warrior, as you're rooting down through the tail, opening up to whatever. A warrior means that we are able to meet what life presents with that sense of openness, being willing to take it all in, and exhale, taking our focus, our intention, our determination, and our courage to meet whatever shows up. So once again, opening to what is, exhale, meeting it with courage and that inner fire and inner focus. Exhale, and rock the hips back into a runner stretch. Slide the right heel forward, point and flex through your foot. That right foot points and flex, and then stays pointed as you lengthen out and bow down, lead with the heart. Just take a couple of breaths here in your runner stretch. Squaring the hips, maybe even just playing with the movement of the hips, like headlights facing left, headlights to the center, headlights to the right. Notice if anything changes there, what you're feeling in that extended leg, and then headlights back to the center. And rolling the right foot down, back into your lunge. And step back into your plank pose. Flow through your vinyasa as you choose. So maybe a full cobra, maybe up dog is what you prefer. Meet in down dog. Grow a little longer from the tips of your fingers to the sacrum. See if you can turn your armpits slightly to face one another without moving the hands. The hand positions should be that your middle fingers are pointing straight ahead. Fingers spread wide. Take it into your three-legged dog here. Left leg lifts, one long line, press down and away into the fingers and thumbs. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Soften shoulders, lengthen root to crown, open heart. Gathering your energy with the inner thighs, drawing towards center, and fingers sweep forward and up, palms face one another. To start, soften shoulders. Bring the hands down to the heart center, and once again, perhaps you have your own personal meditation you can bring into here, what it is you need to open to today, and what you need to meet with determination, focus, courage, presence. Inhale, opening, and offering your unwavering presence. Opening up and gathering in what you need. Folding back into your runner stretch, slide the left heel forward, point and flex a few times. And then keep the toes pointed straight up, lengthen out and bow down. And if you'd like here to play with that, your hip pointers as headlights, drawing toward the right, drawing toward center, drawing toward the left. Oh yeah, I feel a juicy stretch on the outside of the extended leg, and back to center. Once again, lengthening out, bow down, lead with your heart. And then rolling the left foot down, curling the back toes under, step it back, flow through your connecting vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog or child, if that's what you're needing. Heart low, hips lift high, peacock feathers fanning wide. Navel lifts in and up, backs of the legs lengthen. We're going to come into a standing flow now. So lift through the left leg. If you'd like to take it into a kick your own asana version of this, so you can roll the hips open, let the right hip stack on top of left knee, knee lifts high, kick your own butt, and then level the hip step through high lunge. Lengthen out and root down through the pelvis with your high lunge. And once you feel steady and comfortable in your high lunge with the back of the left knee lifted, you can spin the heel inward, line up heel to instep, and bring right forearm to thigh, and we'll open up into an extended side angle. Uttita Parshva Konasana. So see if you can find that unbroken diagonal line through the body, which means your stance needs to be long enough so that your hip isn't sticking up in the air. Outer edge of your foot roots down on the left side. Core is firm, grow long. Press down into the forearm on that right thigh. And then from here, we'll wheel open into Warrior Two. Soften the shoulders, nice and wide through the heart. Let's take that gesture, opening up. So roll the palms open and feel it light up the heart. And that gesture of saying, here I am world, here I am spirit, God, divine energy. Show me how I can channel your love and light and energy in my life. So exhale, gathering it into your heart and offering it out to the world. Inhale, open up, gathering it in and offering it out. Open up, gather it in, offer it out. That's really the whole practice of life, all in these three movements. One more. Open up, gather it in, as focus and intention and attention, offer that energy out to the world. Then take it into your dancing warrior, your version of dancing warrior, either back of the hand to the head. Maybe you want to do that Ganesha mudra that we did last week, or just taking it into hands, fingertips straight up and back behind you. As you exhale, cartwheel the arms down, back into a high lunge. We'll take it into revolved side angle twist, pressing down through the left hand, let the right hand rise. Big breath in, exhale, release, step back to plank, flow through vinyasa as you choose. Meeting in down dog. Connect with your breath. In and out through the nose, gentle ujjayi. On the left side, we'll take that three-legged dog. If you want to kick your own butt, you can do that. Kick asana, lifting knee high, stacking left hip over right. And then gracefully stepping it through. Long, low, high lunge, Shoulders move back away from the ears. Front knee firm over ankle. Just land in this lunge. And then the back heel spins inward 45 degrees. Root down through the outer edge of your right foot. Left forearm to thigh. And open up, stacking right hip on top of left. Your body is in one plane now between two panes of glass. Grow long from heel to fingertips. Notice if the shoulder is scrunching up toward the ear on the right side, and soften. Create a little more space. Feel your core powering up here to support you in this pose. One more breath. And then you can wheel up into your warrior two. Outer edge of that left knee toward pinky toe, hips open to the long end of your mat on the right side. Soften your shoulders, and then we'll take that gesture of opening up, so spiral open through the arms, feel it light up the heart. Gather in at the top of the breath. Exhale, take the whole exhale to draw it in toward your heart and offer it out. So inhale, let's refine this movement. I'm going to face you this way for a moment so you can see. Let's take the inhale to open up and let the hands meet at the top. Exhale, draw it down through head, through heart, and offer it out, palms up in that gesture of offering. And at the end of the exhale, turn the palms down. So then we begin. Inhale, open, palms up, palms join. Exhale, gathering inward and offering out, palms up, palms down at the end. One more time. And then take it into your dancing warrior. I know I'm facing the other way. So you should have your left foot forward. Take it into your expression of dancing. Maybe you want to take a bind here. And exhale. When you're ready to release, cartwheel the arms down. Back in your lunge, you're on the ball of your back foot. Take it into a revolved side angle.
Hey, you.
Exhale, release. From here, step it back. Just step it right back into a downward facing dog. If you have a lot of energy and you want to flow through your vinyasa sequence, you can here. Otherwise, you can stay for a few more breaths in down dog or take it into your child. And then from here, we're going to come into plank pose and lower all the way down onto the belly. Taking it into a bow pose. So let the forehead come down, point the toes, just bring the inner thighs toward one another, reach your hands back behind you. If for you, bow pose isn't appropriate, you can take Sphinx. Or you can take a Sphinx mash up with Seal. Maybe lifting, straightening the arms a little bit. Maybe taking a bolster and putting it under your ribs, under your lower ribs. Or if bow pose is appropriate and available to you, grab the top of the feet, lift up, see if you can keep the thighs lifted off the mat, just like we did in locust pose. And this time you're going to kick back to get an opening in the chest. Reach up, kick back, reach up, kick back. Look up. Let the edges of the mouth lift. Breathe, enjoy. Dhanurasana, the bow pose. And slowly release. Make a pillow with the hands. Turn the head to one side. Let the cheek rest on your pillow. Let it all go. If you'd like to windshield wiper the legs side to side, you can do that. I'm going to give you the opportunity to take bow pose again, or whatever back bend feels appropriate for you. So either coming from your Sphinx or going right into bow pose this time. Those of you who want to take a little deeper, juicier bow pose can grab below the ankles. Flex the feet and let the soles of the feet, with the feet flexed, reach up. Some people feel this a little more satisfying if it feels available. Keep the inner thighs drawing toward one another. Look up, breathe. See if you can notice a place where you're holding tension, where there doesn't need to be tension. Face, shoulders, jaw. Releasing when you're ready. Pillow with the hands, turn the head the other way. Let it all go. Maybe just even wiggling the hip side to side to release through the low back. And very slowly make your way back into a child's pose through a cat stretch. So hands slide under the shoulders. Take a moment to really enjoy this very important complementary pose to the deep back bend, deep forward bend here, maybe coming up onto fingertips to get a little more lift. Really focus on the spread between the shoulder blades and bring that place right between the shoulder blades up to the sky. Chin tucks to the chest. And sink it back to child. From here, bring the hands under the shoulders to sit up, curl your toes under, and draw your feet to the edges of your mat. And I'm going to invite you to come into a malasana squat pose. If you need a block, you can always take your block and put it under your sitting bones if you need that support. But you want your feet, your heels, to be about as wide as your mat. And hands in prayer. Forearms parallel to the floor. So you're going to press the upper arms or the elbows to the insides of the inner thigh, just underneath where your knee is. Underneath meaning just a little lower, not inside. Heart draws forward, shoulders roll down the back body. Crown lifts, so we find this sense of beauty, elegance, and gracefulness in this squat. Down through the tailbone, long in the spine. Feel a lovely stretch in the inner thighs here. And as the hands are here in prayer, perhaps touching back into whatever your intention was that you set earlier at the beginning of our practice. And then hands come down underneath the shoulders, fingers spread wide. Lift the hips, straighten the legs. Come into a forward bend, starting with a shoulder width forward bend. So a little wider forward bend than we typically take. And just let the crown of the head reach to the earth. And then you can heel toe the feet to hip width apart. Toes point straight ahead into your Uttanasana forward bend. A few variations that you can try here with your forward bend is either bringing your peace fingers to the underneath your big toe and grabbing the big toe to invite a little more deeper folding in. So the whole front of the torso draws close to the legs, nose comes right between the knees or just below the knees between the calves. Lift high through the sacrum, root the crown down toward the earth. If you need a bend in your knees a little bit, that's absolutely fine. And then taking a half lift, release the hands from the feet And take a half lift, flat back, shoulders are in line with the hips, and grow a little longer from your tail to your crown. Fingertips just press into the shins, below the knees. Exhale, fold. And here, there's a really lovely way to, often we spend with all those plank poses and upward facing dogs, we have a lot of time when the wrist is extended like this. So now we get to stretch the wrist the other way. So from here, lift your heel, you're going to keep your heels down, and you're going to lift your toes, ball of the foot, lift the whole foot, but keep the heel down, and just slide your hand underneath with the knuckles facing down. So the ball of the foot is going to press into the center of the palm, and you want to line up the tips of your toes with your wrist crease. And then try it on the other side. So you want to slide the hands all the way under here, and you might need to bend your knees a little more here, so that the tips of the toes touch the crease of the wrist. And then you can just kind of knead and massage as you kind of shift your weight side to side. Use your feet to massage your hands. Just gently pressing the backs of the hands into the mat. Your fingers are pointing toward your heels underneath. So you want to make sure your hands are slid all the way under, so that it's really kind of like the middle two toes are touching the wrist crease. And let the head go. And then when you're ready to release, you can slide your hands out, bring your feet flat again. And from here, we'll roll up one vertebra at a time, stacking one bone on top of the other. Slowly coming up to standing. Take it really slow, because we've been upside down for a while. And the shoulders roll down and back. Find your way into samastiti, equal balance on both feet. And just feel, take a moment to feel what it feels like to be upright, balanced, and centered. All right. Let's take it into some standing balance play. So, knowing that samastiti is our home base, equal balance, you can always come back to that in between poses. If you feel that you need to ground yourself, you can do that. If you feel like you've got enough comfort in your balance to go right from one posture to the other, you can do that without putting your foot down. That's the challenge. But there's no shame in putting your foot down if you need it. So let's start with crane. So you just lift I'll mirror you here, lift your left knee to hip height, open your wings. Take a little unlocking of the standing leg, and just feel your steadiness with the wind beneath your wings. With the breath, slow and easy, gentle, soft ujjayi. That ujjayi breath making the gentle sound of the wind that lifts you beneath your wings. Am I being poetic enough? From here, we can take it right into tree. All right, now you're going to power up that standing leg so it becomes like a firm tree trunk. Sole of the foot presses into the trunk of your tree. Now we're getting that nice hip opener. Knee point straight out to the side. Bring your hands to prayer position in front of the heart. And you can play with variations in tree. Maybe taking Kali Mudra, pointer fingers to the sky, fingers interlaced. If you need to encourage and invite in that sense of fierce, one-pointed focus, or clearing away obstacles. Or maybe you want to open your arms as your branch is spreading to the sky in celebration, opening to the light. Maybe you want to take it into Gomukhasana arms if that's available to you. So your opposite elbow from your knee would point up. So now it would be your right elbow points up, left elbow points down as you hook your hands behind you. If you can't hook your hands, you can just grab your clothes. So playing with your tree pose with various arm explorations. And then from tree, we're going to take the opposite movement of the hip and a different movement of the arm. So we're going to go into an internal rotation of the hip to come right into your eagle pose. So you're going to wrap your left leg around your right, get down into it, deep down into a squat, fingertips to the sky, elbows lift as high as the shoulders. Get down into it, breathe. Always find to put your foot down beside your standing leg if you need to. And now we'll take it into one more challenge. So open up into your crane. If you need to take Samastiti, you can take that. Otherwise, you're going to bring the shoulders forward. I got to move forward so I have room to kick the legs straight back to come into your balancing warrior 3. Either airplane arms or hands by your sides. Maybe you need to bring your fingers down to steady yourself. That's fine. Taking Kali Mudra in front of you if you need to for the most challenging expression of this pose. So play with it. Feel the length from your back foot to your crown. Hip pointers level, core firm. When you're ready to come out, see if you can come right up without touching your left foot down, right into crane. Open your wings and come in for a landing. Shake out the standing leg. Any wiggles and waggles here? That was strong. We're going to try it on the other side. So remember, the sequence was crane, tree, and all the variations of tree, eagle, and then right from eagle back into, from eagle back through crane and into the warrior 3. So let's play with that. Always beginning samastiti. Equal balance, steady and comfortable. Firm and easeful. Find your crane. Soften the standing legs, soften the shoulders, soften around the face. Easy breath. And taking it into tree. Activating the trunk of your tree, hands in prayer to start. And of course, if you find that holding on to something is what supports you in tree, you can hold on to a wall with one hand and make the sound of one hand clapping. It's very Zen practice to do that. And find your variations in tree. Kali Mudra is like this. Or taking it into a celebrative open branches to the sky, or taking it into Gomukhasana arms, the face of the cow or face of light. Remember the hip opening aspect of this pose, tailbone roots down, right knee straight out to the right. Enjoying open hips, steadiness, balance, gracefulness. And when you're ready, you can take it through crane right into eagle. This crane is kind of like a transitional pose to prepare us for whatever else we're going to do, taking it into that Garudasana eagle pose. And you might find here when you're coming into a really strong one like this that you need to juice up your ujjayi sound. Get it a little stronger. that gives you the strength and the focus to maintain this pose. And then opening your wings when you're ready. Again, transitioning through crane right into your standing, balancing warrior three. Back leg is internally rotated, the one that's lifted, the knee and the toes point straight down. And again, if you need to steady yourself, bring your hands down, fingertips down to the floor. Hips and shoulders are aligned with one another. I'm finding it hard to talk and balance at the same time today. It's also fine to bring a block. That can be really helpful to bring your hands to the outside corners of the block. And that really can give you an opportunity to power up your core. When you're ready to release, see if you can come right through crane and touch down. Back to earth. Shake out the standing leg. Beautiful, everyone. Let's take it down to a seated position on your mat. We'll do some closing postures from a seated position. So that means starting with Dandasana, the staff pose. So I'm just going to fix this here so you can see. Shoulders over hips, knees in line with the hip pointers, just like you would in mountain, with a fold at the hips. Just place your palms down underneath your shoulders, arm bones stacked, just to feel the steadiness, gracefulness, and power of Dandasana. The feet are flexed, so there's an activity in the legs, activity in the core as you lift the lower ribs away from the pelvis. Long spine, back of the neck long, chin level. So this pose is a lot more than just sitting there waiting for something else to happen. There's a core activation, there's activation in the legs, there's attention, there's awareness, there's a softness in the face. Feel the sitting bones and the tailbone connecting with the earth, the crown of the head connecting with sky. Just like you would in mountain. And then from here, take your right knee, right thigh in toward the ribs, and come into a cradle the baby pose. So we get a nice glute stretch, hip opener here. It's basically like a seated pigeon. You're going to bring the toes on your right foot up toward the same level as your left shoulder, if it wants to go there. If not, that's fine. If you can, interlace your fingers around your shin, cradle your baby. Draw that baby in toward your heart and see if you can do this without going into Shlumpasana. So if I turn sideways, here's a do and don't. This is a do. See how elongated my spine is? This is a don't. Okay? So see if you can keep that awareness. So it's a core practice as well. If you want to take any variations here, like hooking under the elbow, pressing away the knee with your right hand. Just do it until you find the place where you feel the juice in that hip opener and glute stretch, IT band stretch. From here, I'm going to take the sole of the foot and place it down on the outside of your left leg. And draw the heel in close to the right heel in close to the left hip. Wrap your left arm around and reach your right fingertips in front of you. Follow your gaze over your middle finger, all the way around, straight back behind you. Then place the palm down behind your sacrum. Palm or fist, whatever invites a little lift in the spine. Hug nice and close with that bent leg in toward your belly and chest. Soften shoulders, lead with the heart into this twist. As always, you lengthen on the inhale, backing off a little from the depth of the twist, and the exhale, give it the juice. Lead with the heart, follow with the head. Releasing your twist slowly. Take that bent leg and bring the sole of the foot to the inside of the straight leg. So you're coming into a seated tree, preparing for Janu Shashasana, head to knee pose. So press your fingertips down under your shoulders, take a little lift, and navel turns just slightly. So navel and knee align up. Navel with your left knee here. Arms reach and rise. Exhale. Fold over. Find length in the spine. Feel the lengthening of the low back here. Lead with the heart. Tuck the chin a little so you lengthen through the back of the neck. It doesn't matter if your nose doesn't touch your knee or your shin. Just want to find that length and depth, a lovely stretch in the back of the extended leg. Stretch in the low back. 2 more breaths here. Same principle here. You back off and lengthen on the inhale, deepen on the exhale. And then if it feels good, if it just feels satisfying here on the next exhale, you can just let it go and let your head come down toward your knee. Just let yourself release and relax. And then slide the hands back toward the body. Lengthen out. Come back into your Dandasana. We'll take that sequence on the other side. Slide your heel in close toward your sitting bone. And then turn the knee out to the side. Take your cradle the baby with your left leg. Staying long in the spine. Shoulders stacked over hips. And breathe and enjoy. Foot comes level with opposite shoulder. Lower leg, as best you can, comes parallel. Draw it in toward the heart. And then take any variations, maybe pressing knee away. Maybe other option is both elbows, inside of the elbows, come underneath the calf. And one underneath the, just above ankle, the other underneath the calf, draw it in. Just find the juicy place and breathe into that. And we're going to take it into a seated twist. So releasing your cradle the baby, bring the sole of the foot to the outside of the right thigh, or to the floor, to the mat on the outside. So the outside edge of your foot is lined up with your thigh, and draw the heel as close to the opposite hip as you can. Wrap the right arm around. Left fingertips come forward straight in front of you. Follow the gaze around. Back behind you. Now your shoulders should be turned to line up with the long end of your mat. Place your hand down. Press into the mat to invite length. Inhale. Exhale, deepen into the twist. Looking over your left shoulder. You don't want your hand, your left hand, to be too far back toward the end of your mat, because that's going to invite you to lean back. So bring it close to your body so that you invite that lift and length. And releasing the twist when you're ready. We're going to come into Janu Shashasana, head to knee pose, the sole of the foot inside the thigh. Draw the outside edge of that bent knee down toward the earth, lengthen up. Give that little swivel so navel lines up with knee. Lift the hands skyward, exhale, fold. Thinking of your spine like an arrow from the tailbone to the crown of the head. On every in-breath, you invite that space and that length, like that arrow shooting out of the crown of your head. Exhale, deepen, leading with the heart. If this feels like a really strong and inaccessible stretch for you in the back of the extended leg, the right leg, you can always just give a little lift in the knee if you need to. See if that makes the pose more accessible. And as you're ready, you can take one more inhale and exhale, let yourself go flop. Let your forehead just sink down toward the knee. It's okay if your upper back rounds or toward the shin. And inhale up, sitting up, and shake out your legs. And we'll take a rolling down onto the back. I'm going to turn sideways just so that you can see the angle. You're going to be on your sitting bones. Plant your feet down, hip width apart. Turn your palms up. And with control, roll down one vertebra at a time, keeping your feet planted. See if you can just let the sacrum roll down one vertebra at a time in the lumbar spine, one vertebra at a time, thoracic spine, behind the heart, shoulders, head. Hug your thighs in, rock side to side. So take the next moment just to find any last movements that feel good. I wouldn't suggest going into a whole inversion sequence right now. If you want to do, let's say, a moment of bridge rolls or happy baby, or maybe taking wind relieving on each side, just take a minute to kind of feel what kind of winding down movements would feel good for you, so we can have some time. Begin to bring that exploration to a close and just let yourself settle into the most comfortable shavasana that you can find in your body right now. And if that means using a little blanket roll underneath the knees or a little smaller roll underneath the neck, not to bring the head into flexion, but just enough to support the neck so that you can really release without the head rolling side to side. Let your shoulders just slightly tuck, shoulder blades, the scapulae along the back body, just slightly tuck toward one another, so that even in your shavasana, you've got your heart open just a little bit. Palms turn up, opening to receive that delicious river of prana moving through you right now. And let the eyes close. Take a deep breath in. Inhale, and God approaches you. Hold. Hold the exhalation, and God remains with you. Exhale, let it go with a sigh. Exhale, and you approach God. And just take a moment to hold that exhalation as you surrender to God. Those are the words of Krishnamacharya. And then releasing any control of the breath. Just let your body find its natural rhythm of breath. Natural inhale and exhale. And notice where you feel the presence of the inhale and exhale, whether it's in your belly, in your chest, perhaps at the nostrils. Just let your awareness gently ride there. And let breath as a never-ending prayer, always moving through you. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. I am blooming as a flower. I am fresh as the dew. I am solid as a mountain. I am firm as the earth. I am free. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. I am water reflecting what is real, what is true. And I feel there is space deep inside of me. I am free. I am free. I am free. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. And bring some movement into your fingers and toes. And any movements that help you come back into your body and into present time. And slowly, as you're ready, rolling over onto one side. And press yourself up to a seated position in your own time. One more time, once you come to your seat, let's close with that gesture of opening up to all that this day offers you from this moment on. Bringing the hands together overhead. Exhale, gathering into your heart the presence and the love to meet whatever this day brings. And let's close together with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.